Here's the problem with anxious attachment. Even when things are good in the relationship, I can't relax. Because in an anxious person's mind, if things are going really good, then bad's probably right around the corner, right? But maybe if I try hard enough, maybe if I read their moods, maybe if I walk on those eggshells, maybe if I don't talk about my needs or boundaries and just focus on them, maybe I can prevent that disconnection. And that will work for a time, until you start saying what every anxiously attached person says. Why don't they reciprocate? I've set the bar so low for them and they still trip over it. They can't even give me the bare minimum. And it's easy to just blame them, right? But we need to get honest with ourselves about why we give and pour from an empty cup. We need to get honest with ourselves about why we're so considerate. We sacrifice ourselves and place their needs above our own. It's not kindness, it's fear. And fear can make us do some wild things. We can create drama when there isn't any, so that we can control the conflict. We try to manipulate them instead of setting healthy boundaries. We tell ourselves the story that they would never listen if we were actually vulnerable. So that's why we stay quiet. And yet the resentment just builds and builds. But we feel justified because, hey, we're not the problem, they are. And the thing that I was so desperately trying to prevent in my relationship was actually what it needed to survive: conflict. Terry Real says all relationships are a dance between harmony, disharmony, and repair. A truly anxiously attached person interrupts that cycle and says, hey, let's just stop at harmony, which is great in theory, but not in reality. Because do you know what builds the most trust and actual intimacy in a relationship? It's not never having conflict. It's both of us learning how to repair. Anxiously attached people are actually just as bad at conflict as avoidantly attached people. Because as an anxious person, you're so used to trying to prevent any disconnection that you forgot when you show up as your authentic self, when you respectfully and vulnerably advocate for your feelings and needs and boundaries, conflict is inevitable, right? You're two humans doing life together. You're gonna have conflict. That's not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing if neither of you can learn how to repair. My problem was I was confusing submission with repair. I thought simply being the first one to apologize and just take all the blame so we can get through this fight was repairing things. It's not. Being honest about how their words and actions impacted you, vulnerably expressing your feelings without criticism or passive aggressiveness, and then being met with validation and empathy, that's repair. And I know all the arguments because I've said them. If they would just treat me right, if they would just give me more than the bare minimum, things would be fine. Maybe. But sometimes the problem isn't just them. Sometimes the problem is in you. You're operating from a place of fear. You don't trust the closeness that you're getting because you can't find safety in yourself because you've always looked for it externally.